Okay, welcome everyone. We are back for another long time ago top 10 TVC Most Wanted. This time, Martyn is picking his Most Wanted card backs to add to the vintage collection for Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Now, I'm quite surprised to see that there are only 5 vintage collection cards for this film as things are. Is that right?
Yeah, 5. Yeah.
There's some key
Are you
characters missing
surprised?
from that. Well, yes and no, because there are some key characters missing, like very key characters. I'm sure they pop up on the other sequel films in the card backs, but I don't know. Must be quite an easy one to pick 10 from, this one.
The sequels have actually been not as big a challenge as perhaps some of the TV shows that we've been doing, but this one particular of the 3 sequels was the hardest to get 10 characters for me personally that I really would like to see on a vintage card.
Yeah.
Purely because there's not many, dare I say, in my opinion, great characters. So yeah, well, anyway, let's just do the list because otherwise, I'm going to get myself into a world of trouble. So
okay, all right, let's crack on then. Number 10 for Force Awakens.
Okay, number 10, I have gone for a character called Bazine Nutell, sorry, and she is the spy at Maz Kanata's bar, sorry, that tells the First Order that Rey, Han, and Finn have all arrived there. Now she's got this black and white diamond check outfit that she wears, like a cat suit, I don't know, something like that, and then like a hood that comes over that's like completely flat hood. She actually looks really good. I really like the outfit. I'm totally convinced she should be in Star Wars. I really like this character. Again, this was one of those rare characters in the sequel trilogy that you saw and you're like, oh, I wouldn't mind reading a comic book perhaps to see about her past, or she gets put in a book or something, the sort of thing that you'd get in the old days with the original trilogy characters. So yeah, I instantly thought, yeah, she'd make a great action figure / card back in the vintage collection. So number 10, Bazine Nutell.
Okay, each to their own. Number 9.
Okay, number 9, I've gone for RPG0. You'll find there might be quite a few Astromecs on this list, and he is a red Astromec. Now, the pointed domes ones, Adam being the Astromech expert, there are 5.
There are 5 units, yeah.
But for some bizarre reason, it's an RP. In this one, so not sure why that's the case, but cool looking Astromech droid. I always like to put a few Astromechs on because we don't have enough of them in the vintage collection. So yeah, RPG0.
Yeah, especially not the R5 style of Astromech. I think we've only got the R5D4. So yeah, this good choice, good looking Astromech. That I quite like that one. Okay, number 8.
Okay, number 8, I've gone for a First Order Flametrooper. Now, I really like these troopers. Now, I wasn't a lot of people are, but I wasn't a huge fan of the First Order Stormtrooper helmets, outfits in general. I thought they looked a bit bulky, and I don't know, they just weren't a patch on Clone Trooper and Stormtrooper helmets. But saying that, pretty much all the other trooper types in the First Order are really cool. So this is probably my pick for this film. Yeah, I mean, you'll have to look at the picture that Adam's probably putting up now on the card back to see what I mean. But I think the helmet looks really cool, and I think it'd make a fantastic figure. Definitely one you could troop build. So number 8, Flametrooper.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of helmet that just fits with a Flametrooper.
Yeah,
it's
definitely
for the weapon that goes with it. Definitely, yeah. Good pick. I'm okay with that one. Number 7.
Okay, number 7, I've gone for Sarko Plank. Now, he was actually released in the Force Awakens range when it came out of 3 3/4 figures.
Okay.
Now, he's a bounty hunter / scavenger, and he's seen on the Nema outposts on Jakku. He's got a red cloak, kind of a sort of a bit of a pike-like helmet with pipes coming off of his mask into his chest, so that could be some sort of breathing apparatus. Yeah, I think he's a pretty cool looking character. I like the fact that we've got a bounty hunter in there. So yeah, I think he looks like he should be in Star Wars. Great action figure, I think. So yeah, number 7, Sarko Plank.
I'd agree. Actually, this is the first time of me looking at him properly at the time of recording. I like that one. I think that's quite a cool looking character. Yes. Okay, number 6.
Okay, number 6, I've gone for Lor Santka, who was obviously played by Max von Sydow. He was obviously right at the beginning of the film, and he had the map to Luke Skywalker at the beginning. Why he had it, we'll never know. And so yeah, again, cool looking character. Someone who lived out in the desert. Could have a great history if they actually tried to explain it. Maybe they have done. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he'd look great on a card back, especially in those scenes where he's been, interrogated by, by the First Order. So yeah, I quite like his character. So yeah, number 6, Lor Santka.
Yeah, decent. It's one of those characters. He's got a few lines. I think that's a worthy addition. Yeah. That's your first 5 then. If you didn't hear the viewers, guys, we are doing a top 10 viewers' choice at some point. So make sure you put your comments in for who you're after for the TVC, because we're going to be looking back at all those characters that Martyn missed that people put in the comments in previous episodes, and we're going to pick our top 10 from those. But we got the rest of this one to get on with, so let's move on to number 5.
Okay, number 5, I've gone for Chancellor Villicham, and he's a Tarsant, or of the Tarsant species, and you only see him ever so briefly on the balcony of the Senate, I'm assuming, just before it's blown up by Starkiller Base. Yeah, I mean he's a good looking character. I think he'd look. I think, to be honest with you, the best part of the car back image would be the fact that they're all bathed in this red light. Before, and I think that would look so good on a car back. And dare I say, that might have been, when I saw the image, I might have picked him over because of the card image rather than the actual character himself. Dare I say? So yeah, Chancellor Villicham, number 5.
Yeah. Have we seen much of that species before? I recognise it, but I'm trying to place it.
You probably recognise him because he was one of the Padawans in the Acolyte, who was in the trailer, and Soul, Master Soul said, "Close your eyes and look out with your feelings." And then everyone joked around that he had no eyelids, so how was he supposed to close his eyes? He was that young Padawan in the Jedi Temple. So yeah, we have seen his species before. They've cropped up a few times.
Yeah. Okay, where are we at? Number 4, is it?
Number 4, I've gone for M9G8. And again, this is another really pointed domed astromech. And he's a brown and white one, if I remember correctly. I'm fairly sure that's true. And again, it's a cool astromech. Looks really cool. I'm just really confused as to why it's M9 and not R something. I know there's a rich history of them naming droids the wrong names, but at least they usually give it an R number. And it's incorrect. But now we've got 2 that are completely not right at all. So, but that aside, it'd be great to have another astromech. Not that I was scraping the barrel at all by this stage, but he looks really, really cool. And again, you got to say, even though he is another astromech, at least he belongs in Star Wars. So yeah,
definitely. Well, it's funny you say that. I'm just looking back at our mystery droids that you picked up last year from Florida. And I'm trying to think of what the number on that one was, because it's very similar to this.
Yes, you're right.
But I can't remember what the number on that one is.
No, I haven't got any to hand.
Could it be possible that Disney have made that one in a mystery box?
Possibly. Damn, that's really annoying.
Yeah, possibly already been made, but not on a vintage collection card back. I don't know.
No.
Moving on then, because we got your top 3 to get through. Number 3.
Okay, number 3, I have gone for the First Order Fleet Engineer. I love this outfit on this character. It, obviously, First Order / Imperial, all black, kind of reminiscent of the Death Star gunner,
Yes.
but
Yeah,
but
that's what I was thinking.
he's got this really awesome looking helmet and blaster. I really like this character. Wow, I would buy some of these. These look awesome. He's just all black, but he just looks really, really cool.
Yeah,
So
smart.
yeah, absolutely. As soon as I saw him, he was definitely in my top 5. So yeah, number 3, the First Order Fleet Engineer.
Okay. Still missing out quite a few of those well-known characters from the film. So I don't know. And there's only a couple left to go. So where are we at? Number 2.
Okay, number 2, I've gone for General Hux, but I have gone for him where he's wearing his long coat and hat, because I think I prefer the First Order officers when they're wearing their long sweeping coats with the hats. I think he looks great. I think there's a scene obviously where he's on the balcony giving the speech where he's wearing it, but there's also another scene where he's wearing it on the bridge of a Star Destroyer or something like that, and it looks absolutely awesome. I would definitely, I'd buy that coat if I could. I think it looks fantastic. So,
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, General Hux obviously is one of those characters that hasn't been made yet on a vintage card. So I mean, I did actually enjoy General Hux in The Force Awakens. I thought he was a good character until we got to the next movie, which we'll talk about at another time. But in this movie, he was actually quite good. He wasn't comedy relief. He was quite a serious, hardcore Imperial officer who wanted to kill as many people as possible. So yeah, he was a good character. So yeah, number 2, General Hux.
Okay, well that just leaves us with 1. I don't know who it's going to be because there's so many characters that you could choose from that you still haven't picked. So let's find out then. Tell us your number 1 from The Force Awakens.
Okay, number 1 for The Force Awakens, I have gone for Han Solo in his Starkiller base garb. So it's the cold weather gear. He's wearing the blue coat. Where he's making the joke, that's not how the Force works with Finn. I did enjoy Han Solo a bit more in this film than a lot of people I think did, because he did feel like Han Solo in this movie to me. It did feel like it was an older version of Han Solo, and they did treat his character fairly well. I mean, overall, I didn't think The Force Awakens was that bad. It was kind of just a retread, but it just went off the rails after this, in my opinion. But anyway, I'm going off topic.
You digress.
Yeah. You have to shut me down quickly. But yeah, number 1, Han Solo Starkiller base, because it's Han Solo at the end of the day, and it's pretty criminal to have a Han Solo in a movie and not have an action. Even Solo has a card back of Han Solo, so come on, we need a Han Solo Starkiller base, or any Han Solo really.
Well,
on a Force Awakens card.
Spoiler alert: we don't get to see him much in the next 2 films, so yeah. So, make of that
ruined it for a generation.
Right, what is my pick going to be? I think as an Astromec guy, I think I'm going to have to pick R5G0, which you called RPG0, but we all know it's an R5 unit. So because that's a cool looking red one, I'm going to go with that. I think.
Cool. So, yeah, definitely good choice. Good choice.
Thank you. All right. Finally, then a vehicle, creature, or playset.
Yeah. Again, tough one, really. I did quite like the look of Kylo's shuttle, but I think I've gone for the cheaper option for us punters. I've gone for Rey's speeder.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. I think that was quite good. And there's still a whole load that you've missed off that list, but people can let us know their thoughts on that in the comments. Next time out, I suppose we better get on and do The Last Jedi, haven't we? So
yeah.
So get excited for that one, Martin, because we're going to be back.
Well,
back
I'm ready. I'm ready.
And make sure you all come back to check out Martin's excitement for that and his 10 picks. Please hit like if you've enjoyed this one. Thank you for watching. We'll catch you in the next one. Bye.